Hello and welcome everyone into another Amplitude Studios stream. I'm Jordan and I am joined today by Stephanie.
Hey everyone. It's not been that long since I've been here last.
No.
In days, but in number of streams, it's actually been 3 streams since I've been here last. So.
Yeah, we've done a few things since then,
yes.
but yeah, welcome back. Hope you're doing all right.
I'm fine.
Having a good Thursday.
Yeah, it's just this time of year, this season, it's always a bit annoying that at this time when usually we finish our workday, it's already pitch dark outside, and it's even worse when we finish the stream. And
now it'll have been dark for hours since by the time we get out, which is a bit of a bummer. But
I guess it does make a difference if it's dark at 6 or if we get out at 6 or at 8. If it's dark at 6,
I was like, it's basically dark at like 5:30. I'm pretty sure. I don't even know when the sun goes down.
But hey, at least, unlike in Antarctica, the sun does come up.
That's true. Speaking of the greedy scenario,
but I guess right now it doesn't go down in Antarctica. If it's winter here, it's summer there.
Currently, it is blazing in Antarctica all the time.
For certain definitions of blazing.
They may not be blazing it up, but it is blazing sun. But anyways, welcome in Arcalis, Elator, hello, Dark Arrow, Isaac. Starting it off early with the console questions.
Yes, I saw it.
I think that's a great question, Isaac. We actually have I
think the response Oma gave was like this year, but that's all we can say for sure right now.
Oh dang it! I think I was gonna put it on a thing where I could just type the link and put it there. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, there's a highlight on our Twitch channel from Amplified 2023 that has a really cool 2.5 minute clip or so. But basically, yeah, we're still working on the console edition, but no official date on that yet. Yeah, I know. We should definitely make an exclamation mark console. All right, I'm gonna do it right now because I have a feeling
that'll come up a lot. Yes,
I'm feeling like it might not be the only time that we see that today. Oops. But yeah, how we doing? Rami, welcome back. Back on the backstages? What do you mean, Dark Arrow? The backstage?
I guess technically being the Twitch moderator is the backstage.
That's true, yeah. Offstage is what we would say, actually. But backstage is more like the area where you get ready before a performance, whereas offstage is you're part of the performance, but you're working on the audio or whatever. It may seem like a weird and pedantic classification, but I'm pretty sure that's how we talk. I've done a bit of theater.
I don't know, but also the question is it the same definition in theater and in video production?
Ooh, well, that's a good question.
Clearly, the two are related. That's why we still have phrases like "break the fourth wall."
Shush. Okay.
Interrupted.
Oh man, I need to still get a new tab out. This is something that I feel like is important enough to do. That's why I'm doing it during the stream.
But anyway, to continue, but yes, it's definitely very related because stuff like breaking the fourth wall, which is a common phrase in talking about movies and characters, that comes from theater, which is funny if you consider that originally during Shakespeare's times there weren't even 2 walls to the stage.
It was just open air.
Well, no.
Well, they even had the round.
Even the globe was round, and the stage was thrust into the audience, so there were 3 sides facing the audience, and only one that wasn't facing them. So, the fourth wall, sure, has never been there in the theater, but the second and third weren't there originally either. And if you think of Greek amphitheaters, that's also the semicircle, so there's only one back wall. But yeah, whether or not he's off stage or backstage, at least he's managing chat.
Quite the discussion. I love it.
And actually, no, it's not purple. It's black. But I guess it looking purple is at least on brand for Amplitude.
There we go. Now it exists. Cool. I did it. There's now a command !console. If you see somebody coming in and asking about the console edition, just type it in for them and hopefully that'll direct them there. But anyways, yeah. So
also, yeah. To finish reading Axel's message, cool. He mentioned apparently the game didn't update.
Oh, curses. Yeah,
and that's the kind of thing where it's like, did we forget to update it, or is it something where Twitch hasn't refreshed yet?
It often will just revert back to the other one even after you change it, because we use different services. So if I change it on Restream, sometimes it takes
and sometimes
initially,
it doesn't.
and then it will change back because Twitch is like, wait, no, I think it's still on this dungeon, and Restream's like, okay, fine,
sure,
but we'll go along with it. But yeah, no, good catch. I appreciate that. Because it matters. It matters where we show up.
Indeed, it does matter quite a bit. And also, if we're set to the wrong game, obviously people will come in and be like, hey, this isn't Endless Dungeon.
We don't want to debate anybody too hard. So,
exactly.
We want to debate you a little bit, but not too hard. So
we want to debate you by claiming that we're gonna win, and then we get our butts kicked by Kiri again.
Exactly. No, this time we're kicking butt. All right.
I mean, I think we have been doing reasonably well, given that there's only like one other empire on the Antarctic yet.
Yeah, true. For those of you that weren't here last week, we had one stream where we played through the scenario, and we just arrived to Antarctica at the very end of last stream. I think we went over a couple minutes to make it happen.
Which took a little longer than I had hoped. Honestly, I probably could have sailed across way earlier and not lost the units, but I didn't want to risk it.
It's possible. I mean, traveling into the unknown is a dangerous business.
I mean, the thing is also, we saw in the last stream very much that, one, the map is hella confusing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're used to the Mercator maps you see in like high school of the Earth, this looks nothing at all like it.
Yeah, this is the
like, up is
tube.
Up is not necessarily north. And then our designers wisely put like dense fog banks and stuff all around Antarctica, so you can't even see how far you're away from the coast.
Yeah, it's quite. I like it. It's quite cool. The only debate will be marking the stream as Terra Incognita and it actually being about food.
Yes, it's always about food.
See, now that we've got you here, let's talk about noodles versus pasta.
Oh no, he's already coming out with the spicy takes.
Alrighty, let's hop into the game here.
Yes.
We're currently
this should be the right save, right?
Yep. 100%.
That moment when you click into the game and the music starts blasting.
Yeah, I'm curious. I set up a filter because I had it on this screen.
And now you can't get the mouse out.
No, it's yeah.
Oh no, don't do it. You know what happens when you do that.
It's fine. We're just gonna do a little. We're doing a little bit of this.
A little bit of live audio editing.
A little bit of that. A little bit of.
I mean, I could have just turned it down in game.
No, I mean, here's the thing though. Like.
True. If I turn it down in game, then yes.
They'll hear it differently, but now we'll hear it differently.
Yeah,
if you don't want it that loud.
No. The thing is, I'm always not sure because it's like desktop audio capture. If that setting affects that capture or not. That's why you're the streaming specialist.
You make a really good point. I had to finagle a couple of things for the Endless Dungeon stream. Can y'all hear the game volume? Because I'm guessing that they might be able to hear it, but it might be quiet. Because the audio output capture is what they should be hearing.
Yep. And I guess you also managed to finish the issues we had with the mic.
Yeah, the mic shouldn't be doing the weird compression thing. It's a bit quiet, but it's perfect in my opinion. All right.
We can already see one of the special rules here in Antarctica. And I'm as awfully low.
2 out of 2, eh?
Yeah, you have half movement in Antarctica. So exploration is gonna take a lot longer than you're used to. And nicely it is reducing it to 2 out of 2 instead of saying like, oh, all the tiles cost double, because if the tiles cost double, then this river here would be amazingly advantageous, which pretty sure Antarctica is rough enough terrain that you can't just hop in a river and paddle along.
Are there rivers in Antarctica? That's what I don't know.
Probably. I mean, there might be like in summer maybe some like meltwater rivulets or whatever, but then
some runoff.
But they're not gonna be like proper rivers.
Not a roaring.
Rio Grande. I think these rivers here might be there entirely for gameplay purposes of the cities you found there to exploit it. Need at least a little bit of food,
a little bit of water, something to make our corn with. I like it. Obviously, it's a scenario. It's not. We're not attempting to make it
also
a 1-to-1.
I think this is also more expensive. This definitely is more expensive than elsewhere, but this I think also goes up. But I definitely want to move it like somewhere where we get more out of it.
I mean, five's good.
But the thing is, this is a science tile, and I don't necessarily want to build over it. Well, we don't get the bonus on that. Here, I think if we build that extractor, we'll get a massive bonus, but we can't get that yet because we need the tech. So let's just move it over here where we have proper. And
are there bears in Antarctica?
I guess for the purposes of showing the special rules, we will actually turn this into a city.
I think there's polar bears in the North Pole, but not in Antarctica.
The polar bears are in the Arctic. The Antarctic is the one with the penguins.
I think penguins are also in South America.
Yeah, there's penguins all the way up to like the equator, depending on which species you look at, and some of them also migrate, not in the air obviously, but
water migration, aquagration.
But yeah, to demonstrate some of the stuff here, we can. When I build this, we should be. I can just buy it out. See, now we already have pollution here. Aid from exploitation, so from these tiles. One from main plants and one from Maker's Quarter. Every tile you exploit in Antarctica generates pollution, even if you haven't even invented the pollution infrastructures yet.
Right. We haven't invented pollution yet, dang it.
So you need to be careful what you build in Antarctica. So I'm probably not gonna build much more here in Marseille. Right. I did say, I want to give this a name and see if chat reacts.
Outpost 31.
Yes.
I don't get the reference. Bachhoffel says Arctica means literally means with bears, and Antarctica means without bears. Arctus equals bear. Artemis, goddess of bears. Arctus means bear, really?
Well, I'm never looked into where the word actually comes from.
Isn't it Ursa in Latin? Or is that?
I think in Latin it's Ursus, yes.
What language is this, Bachhoffel? What are we citing here? Is this Greek? Latin?
I think we may need some. That's why I shouldn't put it here, because then we could have put the nature preserve there to reduce the pollution a little bit. Fool
of a tuck.
And I still love that there's like Vienna here. It's like, what? The Terra Incognita of Austria. Yes, Arcalis gets it.
Is the way that they answered indicative of the fact that they've...
Yes.
Okay. Because the answer doesn't make any sense to me still, because it just seems like they're saying that they can, I don't know, a weird way of saying that they get it.
No, here's the thing. It's a reference to the movie, The Thing.
Is The Thing a bear?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, y'all.
The thing is, a parasite that takes you over. It's a sci-fi horror film by Carpenter, and Outpost 31 is where it takes place, and nothing could possibly go wrong.
Of course not.
We'll just, take care of this sled dog that arrived from the Norwegian station. No problems here. Let's actually... This one
is a Trojan
should
dog.
help. Should actually apply to this, I think.
The unmeditated crime of being born elsewhere.
So, I don't even know... I guess
All right.
Greek, then. Greek Arctos.
Yeah, Greek, that sounds about right.
So Latin must be the Ursa. Because I'm thinking of, like, the Ursa Major, Ursa Minor.
Yes, that's
Constellations.
in Latin. It's Ursa.
And in Pokemon, it's Ursa Ring. And Teddy Ursa. See, I play Pokemon, so I know Latin.
Wait, we're already at 35 pollution per turn.
Oh, good. Burn the world, Stephanie.
Not just us. I think the most of that is actually... Let's see. Yep, 28 from us. 65 from the Austrians.
Dang it.
Damn Austrians.
Theoretically, Arcticos would mean Great Bear. Adding kos on the end of something makes it big? Oh, it was Arctos. Arcticos. Does adding an I in the middle make it mean big? I don't know how the structure of Greek works, personally. I'm a little rusty on my Greek, actually.
On your ancient Greek,
on my ancient Greek, yes. I haven't brushed up on it in quite some time.
Oh, yes, old chap.
How's Africa doing?
Well, first of all, let's, buy some resources from the neighbors. Ah, right, they have saltpeter.
I just know... I think ecos means big. Oh, okay. I just know a bit of the words, nothing of the grammar, so I can sound fancy in papers. Is that what makes you sound fancy in papers? Guess I should have gotten good at Greek when I was in college.
Okay, now let's see if that other rule I remembered it correctly.
How much of the map does Antarctica take up?
So
it's a lot.
Notice something here.
Oil.
Look at the number there next to the signs.
Oh.
That's a lot of signs for just being an extractor. Any strategic resource in Antarctica gets 20 extra signs.
Oh my.
When normally, they provide 2, so that's a pretty big deal.
That's,
and also
10 times as much science.
Actually, technically, it's 11 times as much science if we count the 2 you still get.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Math.
Math is cool. Latin it? Greek F, yeah. I mean, I gotta say, I feel like in America, at least, when we talk about, like, oh, what's a useful language? I don't think I've ever heard Greek being a useful language in the sense of, like, it helps you learn other languages. Usually Latin's like, oh, if you know a bit of Latin,
Latin helps definitely with
medical terms
it also
and other
with,
languages that are
exactly
romantic.
Romance languages, and strangely enough, for some words in English.
Yeah.
Because there were a bunch of words where the English were like, oh, we want to sound fancy. Take a Latin word and just slap English grammar on it.
Yeah, grammatize it. Now, when I was a kid, though, I did watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and I bet knowing Greek would have helped me there to know what they were talking about.
I'm just looking at the religion here and saying,
We are quite prolific, aren't we?
No.
That's not us.
It's like...
That is us.
But the thing is, most of this is our own territory. We have barely pushed outside of our borders. Like, this is us. This is all our stuff. The only people we spread to is the Dutch. And, like, this one place. We really... No, wait, actually, that's all part of Burusa as well. Yes, true.
Some of our people are actually converted by our neighbors.
No, we're all our faith, but we haven't managed at all to spread into, like, the other regions.
Their majority, that region down there, at the bottom, the black one, at the bottom. Bottom middle, yeah.
They converted to the other faith.
But that's ours.
That's our region, yeah, but the city center is here, so, like, most of the people
will
be,
I
still
see.
our faith. like a couple of them will be the different flavors, but
I got
this is the only area where we really managed to spread to. So I'm thinking, yeah, we should probably slap that.
Yes,
As much
Axel.
as
yes.
much as we've been building them, where it makes some sense to have like the holy sites for our religion.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking we need to build some like in the middle of Siberia to
I
spread
like
our
it.
faith.
They'll be the frozen chosen. The chosen frozen? How does it go? I don't remember.
This is
but
like,
yeah,
we go there,
it's-
make a pilgrimage there in... would it be more appropriate to make the pilgrimage to the North Pole in summer when it's light or in winter when it's dark?
Northern Lights, I think.
So, winter.
Yeah. Frozen chosen equals frozen. Thank you very much, Nitnuck76, and officially welcome into the community. Yeah, my aunt was very disappointed in me that I didn't learn Greek. Is your aunt Greek? Buckawful. The Chofro. Yeah, exactly. The Siberian Saints.
Right, I wanted to build... Oh, maybe, but no, I just need something to found a city somewhere down there, so I guess actually we do have settlers, so...
Yeah, she's Greek, I'm part Greek, and she was disappointed I didn't keep the culture. I mean, Greek culture is pretty prolific, At least in the US, we have gyros. The food culture, at least, is quite prolific. People love Greek food. You have Greek salad dressing that's like really popular.
You have
Greek olives.
When I hear something like, oh, the Greek salad dressing, my immediate reaction is like, would a Greek person agree that it's actually Greek?
I mean,
because so many
salad dressing's pretty universal. I feel like I don't really know what makes it Greek.
But whatever seasoning is in there.
Kalamata olives, that's what makes it Greek.
But it's this kind of thing where a lot of times some cultural adjective is slapped on a food where the people of that culture are like, we would never eat that. Why are you calling it that?
I mean, like French fries. You mean Belgian fries, right?
No, I was about to say, obviously, French fries would be when you add cheese.
Yeah,
but I believe
we call those chili fries.
No,
well, we usually have chili
I was about to say,
cheese.
I guess at that point you could start calling it poutine.
Oh, that's a good point. Poutine is quite yum. Siberian Saints is probably a biker gang, yeah. Or a rock hard biker gang, just like the frozen tundra that they roll over. Salad dressing, I'm familiar with, it's tzatziki based. Yeah, maybe it's not that Greek. I think it's called Greek because it usually has like feta and Kalamata olives in it. The reddish, purplish olives. Yep. We call them Kalamata, but I'm not sure if that's what Greek people call them. Poutine. And we started the food discussion already. Yeah, no, I had to get it started.
He started with the food discussion.
Yeah. We're just getting around back to it.
I'm just thinking, now I finally get it. Because you have so much trouble actually finding spicy food, you just have spicy food takes.
That's right. My food's not hot enough, so I got the hot takes. I love it. What do the Siberian Saints think about the Austro-Hungarian Antarctica?
Well, we think it's quite unacceptable given that they're causing... Oh my god, 115 pollution per turn? Sheesh. No, wait, actually it's 115 total they cause. They cause 25, we cause 5. They cause 5 times as much pollution as we do.
Yeah. So,
yeah, we definitely need to take care of that.
Heyo, wait, did we say something lewd? I don't remember making any allusions. But they're saying Omega Lol and Heyo, so I'm not sure what we did.
I don't know either. We might have said something without noticing.
Yeah.
What do you say to this appealing proposal?
Edgar Allan Poe of the British.
Is
no, they took that as a roast. I wouldn't say that's a roast.
What did you say to me?
It's a bit about the spicy takes.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, to be fair, I have a really hard time finding spicy food.
That's not a roast. That's at best a gyros.
You know, I did actually go try. So there's this poutine restaurant here in Paris called Le Maison de Poutine. The restaurant names here aren't that inventive.
like they are anywhere.
No, in the U.S. we have funny named restaurants. I think we
so I guess that's
We're
what's necessary
king.
to get people in.
we're king where it comes to funny names. What in France it's like literally like La Maison de whatever, and then it's Chez Remy, Chez Louis, or whatever. It's like there's like 2 names for all the restaurants in all of France.
Just be careful.
I'm digging.
With
digging
things
my
like
holes.
that, you might be getting cancelled by the marketing team.
I think chat knows me well enough at this point to know that it's.
Oh no,
all
I'm not
just
talking
shit.
about chat. I'm like, sometimes we have actual colleagues hanging out
Oh
in
yeah,
chat,
yeah.
and then you show up here tomorrow, and it's like, oh yeah.
I heard what you said about our restaurant.
I heard what you said last stream.
Making fun of our names. Hey, oh, is it only for lewd stuff? Stephanie Savage did get the hot food takes. Okay. Applebee's, yeah, Applebee's. It's like a steakhouse, or well, it's kind of not a. It's kind of like one of those restaurants where they sell everything, you know. What do
Yeah,
they
but
sell?
that's definitely the one where the name would tell me nothing about what kind of food I get there.
Yeah, no, they're not very helpful.
But on the other hand, chez whoever also wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
The Maison de Poutine, crepe, whatever.
that's more
At least
helpful.
that's more helpful.
Yeah, that tells you what you're gonna eat at least, or at least what they're known for, you know.
Yeah.
Document c'est le peuple le plus puissant de l'histoire. The document about the people that are the fastest. Puissant is fast, like
Too small, not document.
doucement. Like gently,
Slowly for most strongest civilization of history.
Jarl, I love living here in France. It's no hate at all. I just like laughing. All restaurant names are fictional. I don't feel like a title for a restaurant should be considered fiction or non-fiction. It's not like it's a book.
Fiction, non-fiction, restaurant names. The 3 important categories in the library, right?
Any similarity with any restaurants, either living or dead, is going to. In the French office, saying something like that is risky. Yeah, I know, COD.
Hey, at least he didn't say chocolatine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Pain au chocolat. That's what I say. Yo, Jordan, remind me real quick, what's your home setup CPU? I have the Ryzen 7 5800X. Restaurants where they sell everything are bad restaurants by default. Where they sell everything. Oh, you're talking about like Applebee's. Yeah. Totally. I mean, they're people pleaser restaurants, and in fact, there's some really terrible like buffets in the U.S. like Sizzler. I don't know if you've ever heard of Sizzler.
No, but even the name makes me wary.
Yeah, it's called Sizzler, and they sell everything from Italian to Asian food. It's pretty
Oh dear
nuts.
God. How are they good at any of them? Let me guess, they're not.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. The best thing at Sizzler is the soft serve ice cream machine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does it actually work?
Yeah. I mean,
Because
every time I've been.
there's a certain reputation for
McDonald's.
I didn't want to call them out by name, but
Yo, Mecky D's, if you're in the stream, fix your dang machine. I heard some conspiracy theories that it's actually the employees that put it as broken because they don't want to clean it, because it's like a lot to clean and they have to clean it after every flurry because it splatters. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not. Oh, excuse me.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but honestly, I also wouldn't begrudge them that tank because from what I hear, it's helpful conditions working.
The guests at McDonald's, if you can call them guests, patrons maybe, are of a certain breed.
I mean, I'm not
A
just
lot of people like McDonald's.
not just the you're dealing with customers angle, because we all know dealing with customers in any job is kind of bad, but
I
also
think
like just
specifically in the U.S., McDonald's is not as like I don't know if I can even call it fancy, but in other countries, McDonald's is like seen as like something like, oh yeah, let's go get the McBaguette or whatever. It's like, I mean, sure, it's still fast food, but it's not like, the lowest tier of
I mean,
fast food.
I'd say it's still not a high tier of fast food,
Sure,
but
yeah.
maybe like middle.
But I just feel like in the U.S., when you envision a McDonald's, it's like envisioning a Walmart in Florida. Like, it's like there's a certain type of people that's gonna be in there, and I've just seen a lot of clips of people being very rude to McDonald's employees.
I mean, what I was thinking of was more the whole when it gets super busy and they have to be back there and cranking out the burgers and fries at the hyper extremely fast pace, and it's like that must be awful working conditions.
Oh
like,
yeah, definitely.
And I say that as somebody who worked assembly line before, so I know what it's like when you have to work that kind of pace.
Yeah. But yeah, Bachhoffel, I got the CPU because I really wanted to, one, get more frames on games where it's CPU bound, and then also just with streaming, like multi-threading is super nice. Litosfer, I don't actually get what the joke was, making sure you don't buy the same CPU. What's wrong with my CPU? I don't understand. I haven't seen a Sizzler since I was a kid. Yeah, there was one in my hometown in Oregon that we went to. But there's also a really cool place that was right next to Sizzlers that was called Mongolian Grill. And it's actually a kind of a type of restaurant that we have in the US where they have a really big flat metal grill, and you go to like a kind of a buffet line where you get a bunch of ingredients, noodles, vegetables, meat, and then you go to a sauce station and you pour a bunch of like different sauces on it, and then you take it to this grill and they throw it on the grill and they like with like two metal like spatula type things, and they cook it up for you, and it's like fresh.
I have heard, but I've never had the chance. But I've heard that grilled Mongolian food, like actual Mongolian food,
I don't know if it's actually Mongolian,
is really good, but I've never had the chance to actually try it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know if that's what Mongolian people eat, because you crash all the time. Oh, Litosfer, I figured out what it was, by the way. At least I'm 99% sure what's wrong. It was the BIOS that was outdated on my motherboard, and I updated it, like maybe 2 years ago, but I hadn't updated it since then, and apparently things just stopped working, and I updated it, and I haven't had an issue since. But yeah, no. Joke's on me. Oh, I've missed so much chat. Restaurant conspiracy theories. Yeah, they're everywhere. Cleaning it is such a mess. Have you seen the videos? No. Honestly, the only people who ever almost ran me over, they got out of the car trying to beat me up, were on their way to McDonald's.
Those two are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, seriously. Not satisfied with roasting the French, moved on to the Americans. Hey, at least I can.
I was about to say,
an
American roasting an American is acceptable. It's not culturally insensitive if you're roasting yourself.
At least I can honestly roast Americans because I know. And I have a friend who works in one, and apparently they have a lot of false claims from customers that they received a wrong order, so they get free food. I can't even imagine, there was the stuff about finding fingers in the chili at Wendy's, and big companies just get a lot of flack. They got to have a really good legal team, probably.
And also then there's, just people generally trying to pull one over on them, I guess.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about the price to performance about the new Intel chips, Litosfer. So maybe you go Intel this time. I'm not sure. They kind of had to clap back after the most recent Ryzen cards came out, or chips came out, because they were just so good for the price. I think AMD is better for streaming. Yes, Intel is a little bit better for just straight frames, but they're not as good at multi-threading. Yeah, there's several YouTube channels where they talk a little bit about it, but there's very few sources that actually talk about streaming and CPU performance. Everybody's just talking about pure frames. And I think it's actually quite like monofaceted that whenever somebody creates a video, it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna make this for like raw FPS.
Well,
I guess most people aren't streamers.
yeah,
so.
I was about to say
There's a lot of streamers though.
It's true, but like
Less.
definitely less than the normal, customers and gamers.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of understand the focus there, but it could be they could at least have that little footnote in the video. Like,
yeah, definitely. I don't have any issues with overheating on my CPU, but I do have a cooler master one. It's not a huge cooler, but I like it. The Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro. I mean, it's a big one. It's big, but yeah, it'd be good. Path of Exile makes my CPU pretty toasty, but apparently it's normal for the game.
As somebody who's played it,
Spaghetti code?
Yes.
What is spaghetti code? What does that mean? Like it's not well routed.
It's with Path of Exile especially. It's understandable because that game has had so many additions over time, and they built base game and then they added features and added features and added features, and it becomes this tangle of calls to other functions that call another function that call another function.
So it has more to do with the optimization based off of how things were added.
Well, yeah, they basically have to completely rebuild the game, so they can't unspaghettify it. just as we can't unspaghettify like ES2 because
right. That makes sense.
Or I guess case in point, there's probably also some spaghetti code in Humankind, because if we're honest, pretty much every game has spaghetti code somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Pollution in the 1400s. Are you trying to kill the planet? Actively.
Well, we're not trying, but apparently the Austrians are trying.
I mean, we're at 45 per turn now.
Yeah, and most of that is still from the Austrians.
Oh, we only are doing 12. Okay. Right. That's the total. From the Ryzen 5000 series to the 7000 series, they lowered the manufacturing technology to 5 nanometers, fitting in way more transistors on a smaller CPU at a far higher clock rate. So you need a beefy cooler to transport the heat from that smaller area. I see, yeah. I think I'm probably going to be pretty happy with my CPU for a while. Yeah, it rarely gets above 50%.
That's also one of the reasons why when I got my new PC, because the old one was, slowly starting to break down, and was getting worried about it, breaking down and me then not having a replacement while that was in the middle of remote work for the pandemic. I was like, nah, I better, even if usually I would, build individually, I can only get a graphics card in a pre-build, and I better splurge so that I have a good CPU and a good card and don't need to immediately upgrade again in a year or two.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because that's so annoying. Every time you change PCs, all of the reinstalling of software and that.
Spaghetti code. Get this. Spaghetti code is the equivalent of putting clean clothes on your bed and floor instead of your wardrobe.
Yep.
That is exactly what I do. How did you know?
But that I guess is a good comparison.
Yeah. Factorio Factorio factory design can be a visual illustration of spaghetti code. I've never played Factorio actually. I think I've seen it.
It's like not played it either, but I've seen it and
it's like a first person.
No, that's Satisfactory.
Ah, that's Satisfactory. Factorio is the top down one?
Yes.
But it's not the same as RimWorld. That's
a different game, yes. Okay. Which is also a different game than Dwarf Fortress.
Got it. No, I knew that one. I've seen some Dwarf Fortress.
They've actually been doing really well from what I heard.
Typical PR.
We're not great, bro.
I am not trying to be a programmer, so okay. My skills lie elsewhere at Litosfer, okay? No need to upgrade from a Ryzen 3600 yet. Everything works at 144 hertz for my 1080p display. Also coding, running experiments. Everything's great. Oh yeah, definitely. Dwarf Fortress is a different game from Dungeon Keeper 2. I don't know that one. What's Dungeon Keeper?
Dungeon Keeper 2 was also a quite good game. It was like you were playing the bad guy, so to speak, building out your underground dungeon, and eventually, the heroes would arrive, try to eradicate you, and you had to defend
you
yourself.
are the dungeon.
You were the keeper in that you were like an invisible presence controlling.
So is it kind of like a tower defense in some ways? Because the heroes are coming in to try and raid.
Yeah, no, but there's like, I wouldn't compare it directly to tower defense. Of course, you had to build up your defenses, but it was more about like traps and having your monsters trained up.
Oh, you had like attack dogs.
Well, yes, you did also have like hellhounds.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you could literally have attack dogs.
Welcome in.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And Dungeon Keeper 2 is different from Dungeon of the Endless 2. Now that's a good
That's
point.
because Dungeon of the Endless 2 doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just gonna slap down a bunch of nature preserves because I think it still counts even if they're not reducing the pollution here.
It's considered a god game, not a tower defense, because it's
that makes sense.
Interesting. Green Turtle 69. Nice. Thanks for the follow and welcome in officially to the community. Good having you here. Green Turtle, what did you have for breakfast? So do we have a war strategy to
Well, right now my war strategy is first of all actually discover most of Antarctica so we know which direction we can best attack from.
Okay. Because I want to roast these Vienna sausages over there. Vienna sausages are actually pre-cooked, so maybe that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't matter.
I'm sticking with it. An energy bar, okay. What brand of energy bar was it? Green Turtle, that sounds like you sound American, I'm guessing. So I'm guessing it was a Cliff Bar. They said it as I was saying Cliff Bar. I was gonna say you don't strike me as one of those, what do you call it? Those my mother-in-law eats them. They're the ones you get from Costco. They come in a big box.
As far as what's our war strategy is concerned, I think I know what our war strategy is.
Tanks.
Just need to claim that. Well, we're the French. We can research into the contemporary, and we have 1 oil here. We can claim this for 1 oil, and we'll want to claim these here anyway for the uranium.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna slap this down, like, I don't know, here somewhere.
Well, that is a halberdier. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't upgraded them yet, but we should be able to actually.
Rifles.
No, we're inventing the tank now, and then we're just gonna send them down.
Okay.
Or maybe we can even produce them here, if we.
Jordan, I dare you to grow your hair until it's as big as Cat of Nine Tails. I had long hair. Have you not seen pictures of my hair?
Also, in his defense, this is not homegrown.
Yeah. I have grown my hair out. Yeah, I actually have a haircutting appointment for tomorrow. For the top of my head, not for my
not for the stash.
Not shaving it again. I need to let this baby grow back out.
And once it's back, we're gonna pin him down and re-dye it.
I like this. This is fun for me, but this is a lot of upkeep. Like, I like waking up in the morning and being like, I just want to get out of bed and walk outside.
Yeah, I can understand that feeling. Trust me, my morning routine has definitely grown.
Yeah, it's a lot. You can't just wake up and be like, I'm ready to go.
Depending on how good I want to look, it takes like half an hour.
Yeah. When I had really long hair, I basically either had to like wash it, like take a shower in the morning, and then let my hair dry so that it would curl properly. Because since I have very curly hair, when it's long, at least, like when it's short, you can tell it's like wavy, like you can see that there's like curl to it. But when it's long, like I literally get ringlets, and so I'd either have to shower or I would have to like dunk my head under the shower head and like get it wet and then kind of let it do its thing. But it would never look okay when I woke up because it's like it gets poofy. because you like sleep on it, and you know, I'm not a very calm sleeper.
Yes, 3 turns per tank. I think
so
this is.
fluffy. It is so fluffy. I'm gonna die. You don't take showers every morning? No, I don't. I'm a very like
I usually take
low
mine
maintenance human.
No, I usually take mine in the evening. Because you know I get back from the office where the heating is on full blast, and I'm like,
it totally depends on like what happened to me that day. If I've worked out that day, then yeah, I'll take a shower when I get done with my workout, which depends on when I worked out. But no, if I didn't work out that day, or if I wasn't in a really hot office all day, or if I wasn't out walking around the city all day, if I just like spent my time mostly at home or something like that, like my body doesn't get stinky that fast. Much to my wife's chagrin, she's like, I'm so jealous that you can just like smell okay after like not taking a shower for multiple days. And I'm like, I mean, sorry. Should I apologize for that? It was funny. I actually took a 4-day backpacking trip with my dad, and I came back smelling like pine trees and campfire smoke, and I didn't smell like BO or sweat or anything. And she was just like, I hate you. I was just like, yep, fair enough. Fair enough. Once a friend of my mom reached to her and said, oh my gosh, you have such pretty purple eyes. Are they yours? And she answered, of course they're mine. I bought them. Were they like the little like contacts? Purple eyes isn't a natural eye color, so I get that.
Yeah, but you know that very much sounds like he's just making a joke.
Contacts, okay.
Oh, okay.
I can't go a single day without a shower, otherwise I get insanely depressed. I just feel full of grime and sweat and dirt.
Yep.
I guess I don't know. It's not a joke. Kane's just like, no.
Yeah, no, but you know that
it sounds like a lead up to something.
Exactly, like this. Oh, she actually had the eyes like in a jar or something.
Yeah. It's a real conversation that happened to my mom using purple contact. But why did you tell it like it was a lead up to like a Reddit joke? It feels like a I don't know. Like
it feels like I wouldn't have said like a Reddit joke. I would have said more like it's this kind of cartoon setup where you and then the camera moves over and then you see like the jar of the eyes and the formaldehyde or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the follow, Hartle Rosie, and welcome into the community. Hope you're doing all right today. Good to have you here. It's a real conversation. Oh, sorry. Thanks for reminding me. I need to do my workout. You got it.
Yep.
You got it.
Oh man, I've started stepping up my own workout a bit more.
Do tell.
In the sense that I used to do like cardio Monday, Friday, calisthenics Wednesday, and now I do like half the cardio on Wednesday and like half the calisthenics on the other 2 days to have it more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was the first time I did it because I started it for the new ones, and oh my god, I felt it so bad.
Yeah, I get that. Something that one of my New Year's resolutions was to add more cardio into my workouts, because I mostly just do weightlifting, which is fine, but I kind of have just stopped running as much because it's the winter. And you go 3 or 4 months without running, and it's kind of your body's like, ooh.
Yeah, I've been thinking I need to switch my cardio to like
jogging or something.
Well, no, I'm sort of jogging in place because it's too cold outside. But I've been thinking about switching it to like stack climbing, so to speak, like having a stool or whatever, and up and down, because
or you could do mountain climbers.
Well, because I've noticed very much whenever the escalator in the metro is broken, I get up there and like, oh, my legs.
Yeah, but it's something that you notice, and I'm the type of person where like, if there was a natural disaster, or if there was like, I don't know, somebody trying to mug me or something, I want to be able to like outrun them. Or the disaster.
See, I'm not even at that point
because
I know that I would just break down.
Well, I mean, for most of my life,
wait.
I've been very much into running because my dad used to run marathons, and so I would like, I wouldn't run the marathon with him, but I would like come for the first 4 miles of his like 20-mile run or something, and I always really liked that.
Actually, we need to check where's the rest of the Austro-Hungarians, because obviously want to take Vienna, but up here. Okay, where's this is all. That's one hell of a city here.
Wow. Dang. Excuse me.
I mean, wait, actually, oh my god, I just realized what this bit is. If you think about it, over here, you know, you have Southeast Asia,
Oh.
and this is
right.
Arabia. Then what's the other pokey bit between the...
India.
Oh my...
That's India. Interesting.
So this goes from like China proper all the way to India.
So there's just.
This is just one mega city they made.
Oh no! I think that's more like Laos and.
You have like
Vietnam,
this
like
is
China.
Korea, so this is like China, and they have it like here their capital. So this is like
Right.
I think this is like Chinese mainland.
Okay.
Around here.
The Yunnan
It's a bit
province.
hard because it's like squeezed in a weird way.
Yeah, and that's part right there is real thin.
And and then it goes all the way. Like they have only the one city, and the one. Okay.
Yeah. 5 days of not exercising cuts your cardio in half is the approximate rule of thumb.
Yeah, this is why I've been.
What?
That's why I'm saying like, oh no, I need to make sure that I don't have the from Monday to Friday break in my cardio,
In
and also
half?
don't have like a 7-day break in my other workouts to build up a little bit of muscle mass, because these are still, you know, just like the code is spaghetti, so are my arms.
Hey, you know, speaking of, you said spaghetti arms, but you know what we say? We say noodle arms.
Yes, I know.
Spaghetti's a noodle. Ayo. Proved it. Proved it with colloquial evidence.
Now I'm thinking. I wonder if anybody. I know if Sakana's here, she'll know what I'm talking about. But if anybody in chat knows, oh, these spaghetti arms, I need to endeavor to make them more like fettuccine.
Fettuccine, yeah.
It's like from a webcomic called Like a Daisy, which is like about the Prohibition era, but to make it a bit funny, all of the characters are cats.
Oh, okay.
And
I
one of them is like just complete weirdo. Like and he's like in the truck with this Eastern European hard as nails dude, and he's talking about, oh, my arms are so noodly, I need to endeavor for them to be more like fettuccine, and the other guy's like, I'm gonna kill him. They're actually working on an animation of that. What's his name? I don't remember his real name. His YouTube channel name is ProZD. You probably have seen him.
Italian noodle arms.
Italian noodles, yes.
This applies to higher cardio levels, of course. The rule breaks down when you get to the cardio level supported by your daily activity, as in, if you walk to work every day 5 kilometers, you'll be able to walk 15 kilometers on a dime, no problem. You'll be tired at 25, for instance. Sangwon?
Yes, that's the guy who I was talking about, who's voicing one of the characters. He was quite famous on YouTube for his skits making fun of, like, you know, RPG storytelling and stuff like that.
Okay. Dr. Kane says you should have Spätzle arms.
Yes, as a German, I should have Spätzle arms. True.
Yeah, arms are actually pretty easy to grow, I feel like, because we use them a lot. Like, pulling and pushing things with your arms is like a pretty like normal task.
Yeah, but the things, you know, generally the pulling and pushing of stuff I do, they're not exactly terribly heavy things.
Sure, yeah.
And then when I go grocery shopping, I notice like, oh yeah, let me pick up like the 6 bottles, 1.5 liters each of milk, and it's like,
yeah. No, fair enough. Core strength, yeah. See, core strength is super important. I actually feel like core strength and grip strength are the two most like under sought after types of strength, because basically core strength the power of your movements comes from the core, and if you have a weak core, even if you have strong arms or whatever, you still can't do functional movements. And then as well, anything that you're trying to move with your hands.
I just realized it's way overdue that we actually advance, unless we want to get 5. Well, I guess 5 more tanks. Each of them is 1 turn, so yeah, that should be fine.
We're min-maxing this era pretty hard. But yeah, so with your grip strength, hanging on to anything if you want to hold yourself up, or just like holding on to anything, your grip strength is directly proportionate to how long you can hold that thing. Because your muscles might be able to hand it, but if your grip fails, you have to let go.
Yep.
You know.
And yeah, the core strength is definitely one. I mean, I asked you about that before, but like exercises for that, because I know
Yeah.
that my back is not in the greatest shape necessarily, so I
Trust.
definitely need to build my core strength there to help support my body as I get older.
It's super important. And like spinal muscles are another underutilized
Yeah, exactly. They're like
muscle.
super hard to work, but that's like precisely one of the problems where I'm like, I really need to work on that, because my spine is not entirely straight. It's like not
I've got
severe.
a slight scoliosis as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's like then it's like extra important that I work on that, because otherwise it's just gonna get worse as I get older.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I was younger, I had a pretty bad snowboarding accident, and I don't know if I had a scoliosis before that or if it happened due to the accident. But regardless, there was a good year or so of my life where sitting up was hard, and my back hurt so bad, and then I was like, I can't live like this, and so I went to a chiropractor and started researching ways to strengthen my spine, and yeah, I mean, obviously I can sit up fine now, but it was tough. I was able to work on better papers because I increased my cardio and core strength. It greatly increased my mental effort capacity as well. Like now, instead of 2 hours of research per day, I can do 4. Like, cause you feel more comfortable sitting up that long. Chiropractors are not certified doctors. You can damage yourself by going to one. I would say that the biggest issue with chiropractors is that you have no guarantee that that chiropractor knows what they're doing. And if you have a chiropractor who doesn't know what they're doing, you can get hurt. But in general, I feel like good chiropractors are ones that understand the human skeleton, really well. And they're able to, help you, one, figure out how to fix whatever's wrong with your skeletal structure. Like bones can be out of place, ribs can be popped out. Like there's a lot of things that can be wrong. You can have, issues with your pelvis. Like one of my legs was longer than the other because my pelvis was tilted, and pelvic tilt can mess up a lot of things down the line because, well, if your pelvis is tilted, then your legs are off, but then since your legs are off, then the upper back gets twisted, and then your shoulders get messed up, and then your shoulders are messed up, so your neck gets messed up, and it's like a cascade.
It's knock-on effects all the way down and up as well.
And up, yeah. So, but a good chiropractor will teach you what you need to know to not have to come back. A bad chiropractor wants you to keep on coming back and just get cracked or whatever. So.
Well, this is a little bit of an uneven fight.
I bid you greetings in the name of my proud people.
Look, I don't want any trouble with you.
Man,
We're fine with the former Spanish down here. What? This looks very much like they too. No, okay, there's the border. So they do have some other cities somewhere here in the fog of war. But I was like, did they also just make a mega city?
All of South America is one city.
This is also a mega city.
They've unified all of North of America.
Are we the only person here that is like, no, all of Australia is one city.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
We're the only people here who have more than one city on the same continent. And then there's the poor
I wonder
Dutch.
what their stability is like.
They're almost out of space
Dutch
to even
barely
build
have any-
districts.
The Dutch barely have any space to expand.
This is like almost Mega City 1 stuff.
That was happening when I played this scenario too. Interesting. I wonder what about the AI wants to build a mega city.
Maybe it's Maybe it's the specific AIs.
They're obviously
know.
under the cap. You know, the city cap. With just one. Because base city cap is 2, right?
Yep.
So yeah,
Wait, no.
guaranteed under the city cap.
Alright, there's some areas left over here that we need to claim. I think we control all of the uranium in the world. Not quite all of the aluminum, though. We need to get somebody over here. Actually, I think you take a different path. Oh. Ah. Edgar, as the Americans, appropriately, has entered the contemporary. But we're hot on his heels. Well, I guess we're not picking the Americans, which I guess is good if we're controlling Outpost 31, because that maybe, you know, prevents some disaster there.
Yeah.
But since it's about the science victory, I think we should probably pick either the Japanese or the Swedes. Cheaper tech and the good
robotics lab is quite good.
Good combined quarter, or more science everywhere and a good science quarter.
Gotta do it for the ramen.
So Japanese it is, unless Chet has objections. Don't see any though.
No, Barkov was just talking about their workout. Finished my starting level workout if I returned to it, as I hadn't done it in a while. Barely did 5 push-ups set. Did the 5 push-up set, but I did them. Now I have reason to shower. Yeah, heck yeah.
I definitely understand. Like when I went to see my family, I was kind of like, first I had like near end of November I had COVID, right? And so I was trying to get back into my workout after that, and then but my calf lasted for like 3 weeks, so I couldn't really work out. Then I went to see my family, so I had been like a month, and I'm like, oh, let's get back to my workout now that I'm back home. And it was like, I had worked my way up to like 20 minutes of cardio or whatever, and I was back down to like 8 to 10, depending on how good my day was. It's like, oh, so painful.
Yeah.
Everything was basically back to square one.
Yeah, it is kind of annoying sometimes how fast it feels like your gains, you know, can disappear. Like, even in just like the Christmassy time, in between Christmas time and Amplified, where I was sick for like 2 weeks or so. Granted, you know, my wife got me sick, so I kept on getting sick from her. I was fine, but, you know, it's fine. Anyways, yeah, I couldn't go to the gym for like 3 weeks, and then I went back, and, I mean, you know, it's not like I can do, like, significantly less weight, but I feel weaker doing that weight, you know? Like, it feels harder. Like, I feel shaky.
I mean, for me, I haven't exactly been, you know, building up to a lot of weight, but it's like more trying to build up the number of repetitions.
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm more interested in, you know, endurance than like raw strength. But
sure. Yeah, for me, I like a little bit of both. I'm kind of into the
I know. I mean, once I
side
get
of things.
Once I get to like the number of repetitions I'm aiming for, then I'll start like slowly increasing the weight.
What's your like max reps before you start increasing the weight?
I want to get to like 30 reps in like 3 times 30. So like not when I say 30 reps, I don't mean like 10 in each for 3 reps, but like, you know, total of 90. But right now, you know, the numbers, the weight is pretty low. I have like 400 grams or whatever for the actual weights, and the rest is all like just my own body weight.
I mean, honestly, you can do a lot with just your own body weight. Our bodies are heavy. Our heads are heavy. Human heads are quite chunky. Gotta have all that brain in us. You know, I saw something the other day that was interesting about brain to weight ratios. Because we have like one of the biggest brains in the mammal world.
Yeah.
But we don't actually have the highest brain to body weight ratio. Like, apparently birds and stuff have like higher
I mean,
brain weight
I could definitely see
or
that.
ants.
I could definitely see that for the birds, especially given that everything else about the bird
Hollow.
anatomy is designed to be light,
Yeah.
but you can't exactly make the brain lighter. Like you can, if you put air pockets in there, you just have less brain.
Yeah. it's just less brain at that point. Yeah, but like ants as well have like a lot of brain weight to body weight. Which I guess they have like chitinous limbs, so
Yep.
chunky human heads, yeah. Yeah, COVID is an interesting one for a lot of things actually. I have friends who have family members that are still dealing with COVID symptoms, and they had it like, 2 years ago or whatever. And so it's very interesting to see how that's going to kind of shape our generation of humans.
I'm trying to decide where
You're
should
just
I
buying everything.
Yeah, but where should I turn one of these into a city center so that we can make another city here and crank out another army to deal with the Austrians?
You intrigue me.
Deal with them, eh?
Yes.
It's a good question. I mean, is Enif a good spot? It's kind of central.
I mean, in the end, none of these are really like in the center of the area, so I guess this is a good
No,
enough
but
spot because that's close to
Central on the
but-
continent, at least.
This annoys me there though. We can't really build out from there, so maybe take this one
Okay.
so we can actually have some districts next to our city. Or how does it look? No, that's pretty empty area. Yeah, so let's try from here.
Does Japan have a different contemporary era soundtrack than the other contemporary era?
No, this is the normal contemporary era soundtrack, as far as I recall.
I guess it sounded like they were using the like little, the hammers.
I
on
mean,
the
the contemporary
strings.
era sound is like mostly the orchestral one, but I think this is like a generic track that everybody shares.
I was just listening to it and I was thinking to myself, I was like, does this sound a bit more like Japanese than the other ones? But because that's what I thought. I thought the contemporary era cultures all basically had the same soundtrack.
Ah, Tokyo. Yes, this is exactly where you'd expect Tokyo, right?
Mmm.
The middle of.
I love the buildings.
Now let's see. Where can we best?
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yes, it is. Why is that so much there?
I don't know.
Oh well, in any case.
Is it just the outputs are high from those?
I think just the base output we get is extremely high from.
Oh,
all
it's
our
because of all the
bonuses.
trading that we have is why it's so high. We have access to a lot of resources,
Which might actually kind of
stop.
when we deal with the Austrians. Oh no, we didn't actually finish the exhibition hall here. Oh well.
Oopie. Oopie. Yes, get a good look at them before we.
Well, no,
wait.
this is the
Oh wait, yeah.
the Koreans.
I was just like, yes, share your maps with us, please.
Oh, do we have? Okay, we have all of them queued.
You should have a little bit of money.
Just make sure we get a little bit of
Casual
industry output here.
50 industry, not bad.
How much was that? 18. That's okay. 25. How long to build tanks here? Oh, 1 turn. No, wait, that's not the tank. Oh, the tank is also 1 turn anyway.
It's not 2 turns.
Yeah, the first one was 1 turn because we had a little overflow, but it's
I see.
fine. Like the important thing is when we look at the total number here, overall it's 10 turns, and I think that's okay because we'll make enough money to rush some in between.
Mm-hmm. You don't run from a predator. That's what they expect you to do.
I guess that depends on the predator.
It depends on the predator for sure. I know that I've seen some videos of like people finding bears in the woods. You definitely don't run from a bear. You just kind of like yell at them and then you walk backwards. Workouts restarted, shower done, dinner set to cook. Thanks to Amplitude Studios and their lovely streamers. You know, happy to help.
Well, if we're on that, remember to hydrate.
Yeah, hydrate before you dihydrate. What you having for dinner tonight, Bachhoffel? I want to know to torture myself because I'm hungry.
No, you're not.
I'm not hungry?
They are.
They're the hungry. Dang it. You're right. I'm wrong. Rice and fish. Ooh. Don't yell at the bears. Just calmly walk back or to the side. Don't stare at them. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to, well, not yell, but you're supposed to like talk at them loudly, kind of. Like, hey, like, don't you come over here, Mr. Bear.
Oh, I just realized, hey, we can already.
Global Messiah?
Yeah, because fusion power.
Oh, because fusion.
And yeah, I think we made it to first place. So now our goal is like to end it as quickly as possible. So I'll probably start researching into. Oh, actually, this is neat. We can technically have our space program right on the equator.
Ooh.
Technically, of course, you probably wouldn't launch it. Well, I guess launching it here would be fine because this is all like kind of uninhabited. But like, you never want to launch a rocket in the direction where people live, because if something goes wrong, that's a lot of potentially very toxic stuff crashing on people's heads.
Ergo, in the ocean.
Yes, usually, like a lot of times, like when especially when NASA, especially SpaceX, are launching from what's it called? I think it's called Vandenberg. It's an Air Force base in California.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And or even when they're launching from Florida because of all the Caribbean islands, sometimes they have to like do like dogleg turn onto their actual path because they can't go in a straight line because they would pass over, inhabited areas. There's like a lot of regulations about that.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's probably a good thing. Using facts and logic to talk the bear out of eating you. Sorry to digress from the subject for a moment. I need to say, Amplitude made great work on humankind. Historical games are not my favorites, but this game looks so beautiful. Thanks, Rami. Yeah, I mean, this has been a huge project that I know has been really important to, the head of our company especially, but then also, there was a big team that worked on it for many years. And then, even after the launch, we've had a much smaller team working on it, but still a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into trying to make it as good as it can be. And, taking all the lessons that we're learning from it and putting it towards eventually someday humankind too.
It's gonna be a while still, I think.
Yeah, of course, but I'm just saying, that's part of the process.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's not a soon TM kind of situation.
Oh no, I'm not trying to bait anybody into being like, oh yeah.
And no,
we still have lots of things.
Just for clarity, nobody expect us to be like.
There's no announcement.
Next Amplified being like,
console version for humankind would gotta come before that.
Exactly.
Which, speaking of, there you go. In case anybody wants to watch it. So bears in the USA are different from bears in Europe. True facts. The ones in the US like to eat at Applebee's. They've been hunted for millennia and selected to not be aggressive to humans. The advice for bears in Europe is to make noise when walking in the forest, like loud talking. But when you're in visual sight with a bear, don't get closer, don't bother it, don't annoy it, don't stare.
Of course, the thing is, in parts of Europe here, like where I grew up, there's not only bears you have to worry about, there's also boars.
We have boars in the US too, but they usually are quite out in the brush.
Yeah, no, where I grew up, like the forests around, we did have boars in there, and they definitely were like You know that meme about how honey badger don't give no damn?
Yeah, honey badger.
That's the boars.
Oh,
It's like if you didn't nail your shot, they'd be like, bullet stuck in my side. I don't care. I'm gonna tear down this.
I'm just more pissed off now.
What's the English word for it?
Like,
We call it hosted. It's like, you know, a wooden structure that's like elevated for the hunter to sit in.
Hunting blind.
And they're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just slam into this and tear it down.
What's the stick for this scenario? Find and explore Antarctica, and exploit Antarctica and win.
I think there's something wrong
As
with
fast
these
as possible.
tiles, because I can't seem to enter some
Or
of them.
sweep your legs and mess you up. Mythanar, yeah. I've actually heard of friends that were in Colorado, I think, that they get boar tags, because you can get like tags for hunting, and I'm pretty sure boar tags are like you can get a ton of them super easy, because they want you to go and kill the boars because the boars are a menace and they like ruin farmers' fields and they ruin the land and they ruin the ecosystem.
Could you
Like prizes? No, like permission to kill. License to kill, literally.
Yeah.
Double
pretty
O
much.
boar. The boars are passive aggressive. I think they're just. I don't know. Maybe they. I mean, I don't think they're like full on aggressing. They just like living, and their living is unfortunately quite detrimental to other species. I've mostly met polite boars. Then they're very short-sighted, so making noise is important, so they know to avoid you. Nice. Balkoppel's met boars.
I
Nice
just
ones.
realized I forgot to set it to spawn down here. So now I actually lose an entire turn for driving down there.
I mean, at least it can drive that far, though.
Yeah, but otherwise we'd already be like somewhere around here.
Yeah, fair enough.
preparing for the invasion.
Yeah, I mean, the hunting license is what tells people that you are, you know, you've gone through the hunting safety training, but the actual tag itself is the license to kill a certain number of an animal.
I don't know exactly how it works in Germany, but I think there's a similar system where it's like, you know, if you're a hunter, there's like, depending on the population of the different animals, it's like, okay, you're allowed to shoot this many deer or this many boars and whatever.
Yeah, and it's based off of like a not a quota, but a limit for that year.
Well,
and
I guess depending on it, because, you know, obviously we eradicated many of the natural predators for like foresters as opposed to hunters. There's an actual quota of like you need to shoot at least this many because otherwise they're gonna completely mess up the forest.
That's true. Some yeah, like with the boars and whatnot, I guess there is probably a quota. Like in some cases, I think I heard in Hawaii or something like that there's some sheep, maybe it was, that have no predators, and they like will pay people to go out and shoot them because they're like, we need you to help us out here. We don't have a, you know,
We could totally
militia
start launching satellites from like the South Pole.
That'd be interesting.
It would also be in the real world quite energy inefficient.
Yeah, because you have to fly. Well, it wouldn't. The orbit wouldn't help you much, would it?
The thing is, one of the reasons why it's most efficient to start from the equator is that the movement of the ground underneath you gives you a sideways kick.
Yeah.
And obviously, you don't exactly have that when you're on the point where it's spinning around.
Yeah.
Let's actually get the structures that reduce the pollution here.
Wasn't there an island full of goats where they had to shoot them from a helicopter? Sounds like Hawaii.
Now I'm remembering the old Wikipedia entry on the Great Emu War.
Oh,
You heard about that one, I think.
I think
right?
I've heard about it. Yeah. I don't know. For me, like, if an animal is actively like detrimental to our current way of life, I can understand just going out and like paying people to kill
I mean,
them.
it's not even just like when I brought up the forces. It's not just it's detrimental to our way of life, but like it's detrimental to the balance of the forest ecosystem because
Well,
we killed an essential part of the ecosystem, so we need to step in and be that part.
right. I guess I'm just saying we're trying to keep it the way that we like it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the forest would probably find some way to recover, but it might not be a good way for us.
Yeah, and also, you know, like, if an animal is completely unchecked, then eventually, in the terms of evolution, something will come along that eats it, you know? But, I don't know, extinction, like mass extinctions or human extinction.
Well, but I think there's definitely been reported cases of, you know, oh, if you disrupt this ecosystem too much, it just kind of collapses.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is, like, I mean, it would eventually recover in millions of years.
Yeah, eventually. That's a very long term.
We don't have millions of years, unfortunately. As humans, we don't last that long. They released a Judas goat with a tracker to find the herd. No shot. That's hilarious. Also, the equatorial orbit you naturally get when launching from the equator is the best compromise orbit when transferring someplace else. Generally, but not always.
Yeah, I mean, it also has the advantage, like, if you need any
Compromise
other inclination, like, for example, if you go to, like, want to go to other planets, not all of them are on exactly the same plane as the Earth around the sun. So obviously, you don't want to start from, like, the equator and have a certain vertical alignment, and then it's like, oh, but the planet I want to go to is over there, and it's the wrong direction. Then you need to, like, start twisting around, and so you don't have that when you're on the equator.
So
orbital mechanics is honestly freaking weird.
Yeah, well, it is interesting, and I don't think anybody ever like learns this in school. So
no, there's an infamous XKCD comic about understanding orbital mechanics, and mind you, the author of that comic worked as an engineer for NASA at a point. So he has this graph of like, my understanding of orbital mechanics is like very low, and then like high school is like a tiny blip. Like university is a slightly bigger blip. Actual job at NASA, playing Kerbal Space Program. Because you're trying to actually put it into action, and suddenly you have all of these sort of first-hand experience of, oh wait, if I want to catch up to these guys, I actually need to hit the brakes so that I go down, and the path I need to take is shorter, and then I will catch. No.
Yeah, it's very interesting. What was I gonna say about? Oh yeah, so if you have the sun in the center of the galaxy,
well, definitely not in the center of the galaxy.
Solar system.
Well, I guess it depends on your definition of sun. Some people might say a black hole is just a giant sun.
Yeah, who knows? But anyways, most of the planets are in a certain degree of
they're mostly relatively flat, but there's like,
because I was like, our solar system is essentially like a disk, it's a spinning disk, kind of like certain galaxies.
Yeah, but it's like, was it? No, it wasn't Pluto. I think it was like, no, Uranus is I think the one that's rolling along on the side. Like where most planets have the axis mostly vertical compared to the plane. Like Neptune or Uranus, one of the two. I think it's Uranus. It's like basically 90 degrees off. Sideways for some reason.
It's just different.
And one of them, I don't remember which one. It might have been Pluto, which is not a planet anymore. But like one of them was like way out of the ecliptic is what the name for that plane is.
Oh, okay, right. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slap this in the middle of the desert here somewhere.
In the center of the galaxy, you have Sagittarius A.
No, Sagittarius A star. That's not a joke. That is what that black hole is called.
Oh, okay. Uranus.
Like the infamous Futurama scene, right? Oh no, we renamed that planet ages ago to stop that stupid joke. So what's it called now? Eurectum.
Eurectum. Did they try and rename Pluto to Yugos?
No, that's a reference to a famous horror story.
Oh, okay.
The fun guys are from there.
Okay. Uranus is rotated with a tilt of 97 degrees, but Venus is at 177 degrees.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what any of that means, though. You know.
It means that it basically spins the other way around than the other planets.
Right, but I mean,
because it's like
So-
you take it and you.
it's right. So it's still orbiting like this, but instead of orbiting like this and spinning like this,
It spins the other
it's
way around.
spinning like this while orbiting in a circle.
Yes.
That does seem quite strange.
Orbit-wise, they're all in the same direction, more or less. I think.
So their days are still the same length, right?
well,
Because
no, the days also depend on the planet, obviously, because the rotation
Right.
rate is different.
right.
But yes, they
also-
still have a day-night cycle.
But their
and like
seasons would be whack compared to ours.
no, like it's just for Venus, the sun rises in the west.
Oh, but then instead of having the North Pole being really dark in the winter and the
Well, no, that's what the north is on the other side.
right. Well, but is it a magnetic pole like we have? Like, do they have that?
well,
Or-
that is a good point. The magnetic pole might still be on the other.
I just don't know how these things work. Okay, like I'm just trying to figure it out. You want to sniff your rectum? Uranus. Uranus, I think, is how it's supposed to be pronounced, right?
I think that depends on who you ask.
I've heard scientists say Uranus, but I actually don't know.
Yeah, that's one of those words where it's like because it's a name that comes from a different language because it's based on a Roman or Greek god. It's like everybody says it's some way.
North and south geographic poles depend on the rotation direction, but magnetic poles depend on physics. Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering about the magnetic poles. I don't know. It just seems like it would not change too much about like you wouldn't notice that you were rotating the other direction because since your speed and direction is relative to where you are, which I mean you just feel like you were standing there.
Yeah,
You would just see it coming around the Earth like
but
we see it.
for the day-night cycle, I guess the one that really will get weird is definitely then Uranus, given that it's like on the side, and obviously it's not always pointing towards the sun with the axis, because that would be awful for the conservation of momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like sometimes the axis is pointing at the sun, sometimes it's perpendicular to the direction to the sun, and then you have day and night, and it's oh no.
Yeah.
It's like our seasons cranked up to 11 to make an amplifier joke.
The Sagittarius A provide plus 50 science. They should do. I mean, Earth's north magnetic pole is somewhere in Siberia or Alaska nowadays.
Yeah, the magnetic pole is nowhere near the actual rotational North Pole. And I think I've heard that there's some theories that say there's evidence that actually the magnetic pole switches every, I don't know how many tens of thousands of years for some reason. And there's like stuff when, like on the sun apparently, as it rotates, the magnetic field kind of gets twisted up and eventually it just like snaps back or whatever. Magnetic fields on planets are kind of weird as well.
I think magnetism in general seems like a weird thing.
As you know, as the Insane Clown Posse once put it, effing magnets, how do they work?
I don't know. I literally don't know. Like, gravity? That makes sense to a certain extent because it's based off of the based off of the mass.
The funny thing is, if you ask a physicist, gravity is the one that makes the least sense.
Well, but it's based off of the mass, right?
No, but that's the thing.
So if you have more matter, it attracts more matter.
The formula for gravity is like the most simple you can get in physics.
Yeah.
But unlike magnetism or like the atomic forces or whatever, we understand where they are coming from. We have no idea what causes gravity. It just is. We don't know. We don't even know how it's transmitted from one object to another.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this mysterious remote interaction. And the physicists are like,
we can't observe how we can observe how it's affecting things, but not
we have no idea why it is exactly. Like there's
Right.
been theories that there's like particles, but then it's like but particles shouldn't be able to travel faster than the speed of light. But gravity's effects seem to be immediate. So
Right.
how does it work?
What about dark matter? Do we actually understand anything about dark matter?
That's like theories, but the problem about dark matter is that an essential part of its definition is that it doesn't interact with regular matter. So how do you measure it?
By how it affects the things around it. I mean,
But that's the point.
yeah, but if you have something that doesn't, whether you do or you don't, you're still choosing, right? So even if it's not
No,
interacting
it's
with
more
it,
like
you
there's
can
no real
measure a lack of interaction, which is still an interaction.
Yeah, no, it's more like this. Like the existence of it and on a large scale has an effect, but like at the small scale, apparently you can't really measure it or something like that because there's no direct interaction,
Right.
and the interaction it has is like so vast in scope. You need to look at like entire galaxies to observe its effect, and like physics and cosmology. Like as soon as you get out of high school physics, shit gets weird.
I mean, we don't have a fundamental understanding of electromagnetism either. We stop somewhere in quantum physics.
I mean, but in quantum physics is still several steps further than gravity.
Dark matter is an unfortunate name. I think of it as unknown stuff. You know who should know things about dark matter? Dark Arrow. Ask him.
Maybe we're all approaching this the wrong way. Maybe dark matter is just a bunch of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. Which is another reference that I'm sure at least one person in chat will get, but you might not.
He's been summoned! I am here! I am here! Multiverse theories enter the chat. Please enlighten us on dark. All things dark.
Oh, actually. Oh my god.
We have a bit of money.
And also, we have enough resources. Let's see how many of these we can upgrade before it grays out the button.
I think all of them.
Oh my god. Did they even... Oh, okay, they did advance into the contemporary era by this.
Well, I think they're gonna have a tough time.
They're gonna have a tough time against these poor guys with the like bolt action repeater rifle marching alongside modern main battle tanks.
It looks like a carbine at least.
Yeah, but I think you can still. Nah, it's hard to see, but like it's definitely not a. This is like.
I think it's not an accurate gun.
At most, it's like World War II level gun.
Yeah.
And then we have like M1 Abrams level tanks.
It's missing either a magazine, or, I mean, whether it be a magazine you can take in or out, or whether it's an internal.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. Like this looks like a
lever action, maybe.
Yeah, this looks like it has like a clip stripping magazine where you like stick it in the top, you push the bullets in, and you take the
like an
the
M1
strip
Grand
out.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly. This looks like an M1, and we have M1 tanks, so to speak.
It's the M908 Mauser model 1908. Oh, maybe. Well, it has a dark spot on the bottom, but it looks like it's missing the clip. It'd be like a 5-rounder or something, right?
But it could be, yeah, it could be based on the Mauser, the German rifle. 1908 kind of gives away when it was invented and used.
Just a little.
Which is, funnily enough, there's a phrase in German called 0815, 08/15. Which is a way of saying like, oh, this is road done without passion and like care and stuff like that. It's really half-assed. And it's actually named after a machine gun that was invented in 08 and updated in 15 and was just mass-produced, and so it just became the spy name for like, oh yeah, crap that was done without care.
Interesting.
And these days people use it and they have no idea where it came from.
Yeah, I think you own everything that has the word dark in it. Dark Arrow. So we have a tentative quantum mechanics formulation for gravity interactions propagating in the quantum graph linking particles and stuff. But how does it travel?
Exactly. That's the and stuff. That's the part where it's like, It's so funny that, we have this super simple formula for calculating effects of gravity, and then it's like, how does it work? It's complicated.
Brazilian troops used the M908 in World War II. Oh, that's pretty outdated.
Something smoking snakes.
World War II started in 42? When did World War II start? I actually know.
I think most people would say in 39 when they
39.
invaded Poland.
Okay. So it was 39, so that's, you know.
Yeah, but the Brazilians didn't join at that point. They
mean,
joined
that's
a
not
bit
that
later.
old of a gun. We have things that are older than that. 1908 versus 1939.
I mean, but at the same time,
31 years.
Yeah, but at the same time, think about the fact that you went from flight had barely been invented, tanks
A
were
lot of
being
things
invented
happened.
during World War One, to, hey, we have jet-powered fighters and machine guns and tanks. And...
True, yeah.
Right. Anyway, now I think we have. Oh no! I should have made the demands. All of it timed out. Oh well. Oh no, wait. Oh no, we do have enough. So.
I can't be calm. Oh no, no, no! I'm the master of mechanical stuff. I don't get it.
The fabricator.
What is it a reference to, fabricator? Exactly that. Do you know why the World War II Brazilian troops were named smoking snakes, Jordan? That Cat9 knows, but I doubt you do. Why are you so savage to me?
I know, but full disclosure, I don't know because I learned a lot about Brazilian history. I know because I learned it from hearing why the Sabaton song is named Smoking Snakes.
You're not wrong. I don't actually know, but... but the fact that you're assuming... Do you know me that well? I mean, I guess if you know me well enough, you would know that I wouldn't have learned that for various reasons, either my age or what I'm into. I know you that well, okay. I like the slow pause and crossing of arms, as Jordan said, 42. Because I was not very confident in my guess. I didn't ever take AP European history.
Yeah, but you know, I would say World War II is kind of part of American history, given that, you know,
right, of course,
the veterans
I
were
didn't take AP US
the...
history either. I moved to Spain before I took those AP classes.
AP is like the advanced level.
Yeah, it's like the college courses that you take in high school.
But then I have to say, what's wrong with the American education
Regular
system
ones?
that World War II is considered AP material?
No, it's not that. It's you would have taken a non-AP version of that class, but instead you can take the AP version of that class to get college credit.
Yeah, but
So it's
still,
like
even then, you know,
it's like a substitute for, not a just, oh, you only get it if you do that. But the issue is that I moved to Spain halfway through high school, and in Spain we didn't do U.S. history or European history.
No, the Spanish probably also had courses on World War II, given that, you know,
I'm
Franco
sure they
was
did it,
involved
but
in
maybe they did it before.
Yeah, I was about to say, they probably assumed, no, that's stuff from 2 years ago. You already know that. Which is definitely, when you move between countries, it's like...
I missed some stuff there, but it's okay.
It gets weird when
I know more or less
countries.
when World War II was, you know.
At least you know it happened, because I have had German tutoring students who were like, wait, there was a second one?
Oh my gosh.
When we were talking about World Wars, and I was like, oh god.
Issue.
Yes.
Take care, Bachhoffel. Thanks for being here. It was with you talking and owning all this stuff, it instantly made me think of Artemis Gordon's rant about stuff from Wild Wild West. I see. I've never seen it.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, yeah.
There was a saying in that era that was something like, it's easier for a snake to start smoking than it is for Brazil to enter the war. Then Brazil declared war on Germany, and the army decided the expeditionary forces would be named the Smoking Snakes. It's a bit cheeky. of them.
And from what I know, they're actually sold their lives quite dearly in Italy when they were like out of supplies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Fought very hard. Supposedly fought so hard that the German soldiers afterwards honored them by putting up a little monument. But that is, I am not an expert on that.
They're not doing too much damage to us. What units do they have?
They have barely invented gun versus modern battle tank.
All right.
I think we have a small advantage here.
Seems that our focus on R&D paid off.
Yep. Just a little bit.
That one tanked that shot much.
Yeah, but
much better.
he's dug in.
These Abrams can only do so much,
Oh, come on. Stop deselecting it. Actually shoot.
Pew pew. Got him.
Here we go. We have taken control of Vienna. Oh, and we finally got that civic that's like all the way down here somewhere.
Cultural blessing. There we go. Oh, hi, Lily Borrell.
Ah, right. We need to get that a different way. Ah, right. These tanks also need to be upgraded. Oh, we don't quite have enough to upgrade all of them, right, don't we?
Medium tanks. What is a medium tank? How does size delineations work with tanks? Or is medium tank just kind of a cop-out to not actually...
No. It's a size delineation that is not used in modern tank warfare anymore, because these days we have the main battle tank, and then we have, like, various support vehicles of various classifications. But in World War II, many nations had like light tank, medium tank, heavy tank, and was basically a rough idea of how heavily armored and how fast is it. Like the light tank, lighter armor, faster, used for like recon during battle and whatever. And
or getting the flank on an enemy.
Yeah, and something like the infamous Tiger was like a heavy tank, because that was like, oh yes, it has, what was it, 110 millimeters of armor, so it's like this slab of steel in front. But obviously it could barely even move with all that weight.
Right.
I'm exaggerating a bit here, but it was not fast.
Right.
But I think the British, for example, instead used the classifications of infantry tank and cavalry tank, where the infantry tank was the slow, heavily armored one that would advance in lockstep with like the infantry, whereas the cavalry tank would be the ones going around trying to flank, stuff like that.
Interesting.
And for some reasons, the Americans were the only ones who thought, tank destroyer, when we put a giant gun on the tank, maybe we should keep the turret. Everybody else was like, oh no, just ditch the turret, we can make the gun bigger. But that has the disadvantage of, if the enemy's not in front of you, how do you shoot him?
I guess it's kind of the bomber fighter strategy, I
Yeah,
guess.
like most of the European tank destroyer designs were more like for ambushes and stuff, I guess. But the Americans, of course, coming in from another continent, were like, yeah, we're on the offensive here, we need to advance, our tank destroyers need to be able to shoot in every direction. And so they had like, what was it called, the Hellcat, I think, which was like on a Sherman, I think, but a bigger gun.
Interesting. Don't teach all that to Jordan, just throw him into a HOL4 campaign and let him figure it out. What's HOL4?
It's an I, not an L.
Oh.
Hearts of Iron.
Hearts of Iron, okay.
No, I was thinking we'll throw him into Steel Division.
I've never heard of these games before.
Steel Division is a World War II real-time strategy game, but not where you build a base. You have like your army at the start, and the battle slowly escalates, so you can't bring the heaviest stuff at the start. And the reason why I joke about it is because our brand manager, or a senior brand manager, actually worked on that game as a brand manager, and he was like trying to record stuff in engine when they didn't have the proper tools, and he was like trying to actually use like mouse or joystick controls to like follow a plane that was passing by and crap like that.
Nice.
And like, oh god. And of course he has experience dealing with a certain type of comments that obviously always accompany that kind of game, And it's like about that era, you get certain group of people.
Yeah, I get that. A certain type of history buff.
Yeah, let's call it that.
There's a monument to the Brazilian Expeditionary Forces in Pistoia, Italy.
Yeah, I think that's where they
kilometers away from Firenze.
Yeah, I think that's where they had their like last stand kind of thing.
Neat monument. Antarctica has been liberated from the Austro-Hungarian oppression and is now under Japanese oppression.
that is essentially Japan in World War II, honestly. They were all like, we need to liberate Asia from the Western oppression. Yeah, by replacing it with Japanese
but
oppression.
now it is ours. Called Dre Brazilianish Helden, apparently after the 3 soldiers that were surrounded and fought till their ammunition ran out. They fixed bayonets to their weapons and died with a valiant charge. Definitely impressive. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would choose to go out if I ran out of ammo. Like, you know, I think it's hard to imagine not thinking that there's some way to escape, you know, some way to avoid death by, like, running. Like, I get that it's, like, valiant to be like, let's charge at them with our bayonets and we'll definitely die.
Keep in mind, you weren't just surrounded by enemy troops.
You're in enemy territory.
You're in enemy territory surrounded by Nazis.
Right.
I think death is the preferable alternative to being captured in that case.
I guess.
But I mean, take that statement, I guess, with a grain of salt, given that, you know, I'm one of the people that would have just put in the camps anyway.
It's interesting because, you know, you think about, you know, the will to live, you know, the survival instinct. And yeah, like, even if you knew your life was gonna suck if you got captured, at least it's like some life as opposed to no life.
Yeah, but as I say, you know, in my case, it would have been more a, do I die now or do I die later?
Right.
Because I, as a trans person, I would have been on their extermination list.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Burkle from the Sky, thank you very much for the follow and officially welcome into the Amplitude Studios community. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, let's maybe, you know, turn back to lighter topics. Like our, no, let's not go into the conquest. Let's go into our space missions.
Yeah. 12 more civics and I finally have the Dia de los Muertos cosmetics. Nice.
Can we? No, we can't build it here because we built the other one there.
We're doing some Sahara tests.
Well, we're
Yeah,
actually
they're-
building our. Actually thinking about it, you know, the Sahara with all the sand is probably a very bad place. Because, you know, it's coarse and gets everywhere.
I hate sand. Yeah, you know,
Yeah, we could
interesting-
just start from Arabia, I guess.
Why not? You know, interestingly enough, when I was doing the Air Force ROTC at my university, I got to go up to the Air Force Base in Ogden, Utah, and we went out to the flight. I was gonna say flight deck, but the area where they park the planes essentially and drive them around to get them to the runway. And I think twice a day, I believe, they have a big group of people go out to the flight deck and they essentially stand arm length apart and they walk the entirety of the flight deck and they pick up any small rocks or debris or anything, like basically every single thing that's not flat ground, and they just pick it up because the engines on like the F-16s and stuff
They would
are
just
so
suck
powerful
that
that
up.
they suck it off the ground into the engine, and of course bad for the engine. The FOD flight line foreign object damage, the FOD walk. Yeah, we didn't have to do it, but they told us about it while we were checking out an F-16.
That reminds me. I once learned that apparently, you know, when you fire on a tank, there's a chance that the impact might not penetrate the armor, but it creates enough of shockwave that stuff inside like breaks off and then injures the crew.
Mhm.
And apparently, the acronym the army uses for that is Behind Armor Damage,
Hmm.
aka BAD.
That's
This is such an army acronym, isn't it?
Yep. Yo, the military loves acronyms.
Like just calling it BAD. That's so military.
Yeah. A rocket launch in the middle of the Arabian Peninsula would create a lot of glass, I guess. I mean, I guess if you were just launching it on the ground, but I assume you'd need a launch pad because you need something to push against. Or else you'll just dig a hole.
Technically, you could probably launch without a launch pad, but yeah, it would create a mess and probably damage your rocket.
Yeah. I have to imagine that if you're launching a rocket, the amount of force going into the ground, at least in the early stages, is enough to shoot stuff back up.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't have anywhere else to go.
You'd probably dig a bit of a hole underneath you.
Yeah, but that stuff's got to go somewhere, you know.
But I guess if your engine ramped up quickly enough, you would start lifting.
Yeah.
As it digs in, because. But the ramp up of the engine is actually, I think, a bit of a. It's not that super fast. What?
Well, you know, I've watched a decent amount of launches, especially when I was living in Florida. I got more interested in launches.
What I meant is like, you know, when you watch the launches, you see that usually, you know, they fire up the engine and they burn for like a second or two before they release the clamps, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and then, you can see it coming out the sides, and
that's what I mean. Like,
water.
And if you take even like the 2 seconds to ramp up, then you clearly can't just stand on the sand and hope that it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And they've focused so much fire here that they actually managed to scratch the tanks. Let's see, what is the strongest units we have here? 46, 55, 51, 53. Yeah, maybe we need to shoot out to sea here.
That's a man of war.
I think this is not going how they imagine.
It's a bummer for their boats. Yeah, it's amazing though how much living in Florida kind of got you interested in like space travel and stuff, and like rockets and whatnot. Like, it's just contagious. You're just in the area and people are like, hey, did you know there's gonna be a launch tomorrow? Like,
I mean,
unless they scrub
being able to see it live probably absolutely helps with that, I guess.
I gotta say, one of the coolest things I saw was I think it was probably like a Falcon launch for some satellites or something like that. I don't really know what it was, but it was the one where they were using like the hydrogen engine boosters. Like, after the main stage happened, then they had like hydrogen second stage boosters. That tank's looking a little hairy.
It's just the minimum damage. There's too many units, so the minimum damage is getting us.
Yeah. But anyways, the hydrogen looks blue, I guess, from the ground.
Well, the hydrogen flame, if it's clean, is blue. Yes.
There you go. So,
like, if you've had chemistry classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bunsen burner flame is also hydrogen flame.
But yeah, so you could see it going like, but then once it like started going sideways, what looked like sideways to us, this crazy sort of like cloud of blue like came off of it, and it like stayed in the air, and it made this like trail, like almost like a comet trail of just like blue light in the sky after the rocket, and it just looked amazing. It was super, super cool. But I only lived in Florida for like 4 or 5 months, so it's kind of unfortunate.
I'm thinking, is there any way we can
retreat?
Is this maybe close enough that if we slap down an airfield over here, I think we have already invented. We haven't quite invented the multi-role fighter yet, but you know these will do. How many of these can we? We don't have enough money to buy any out. Too bad. We're probably gonna lose one tank, but this is the final round for them. So we may be able to just bomb the hell out of them next turn. Even if it's just the one bomber.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But anyway, when you say, you know, oh, sideways from our point of view, I'd say it's also like kind of sideways from an Earth point of view. Because if you think about it, orbiting is just falling sideways really, really fast. And that's basically, orbiting is just, you fall, but you go sideways so fast that you keep missing the Earth.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I was stationed at Vandenberg, AFB, which test launched missiles and launched polar orbit space missions. And I live 40 miles from Cape Canaveral, and sometimes I see/hear launches. Okay, cool, yeah. I lived in Orlando, Uncle Elias, for, like I said, like 4 or 5 months. We moved down there because my wife got a job at Disney World. And I was actually, at that time, hoping to start pilot training. But then things changed and we moved to France instead, so that didn't happen. But, you know, it's all good. There's a lot of really good flight schools down there and, you know, airlines and stuff. But yeah, that's super cool. Vandenberg, which state is Vandenberg in? I don't think I know that Air Force Base.
I think it's in California.
Vandenberg. I've seen the Air Force Base by Sacramento in California. I've seen north of Santa Barbara. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to any of the Southern California Air Force bases. Just the one by Sacramento. That's cool, though. My mom's from that area, actually. She's from... Yeah, I'm not sure how far from Santa Barbara she is. Or what she was.
All this chip damage from all... Oh my god! They're riding out the knights against the tanks.
Oh no. Hello. They're on a river.
Yeah, but they're also dug in. However, they managed to dig in the river.
Yeah, they're like wading across the river, and then they're like, sit down. Just their heads are peeking out. It's a beautiful part of the country, except for the wind and fog. Okay. Is there a lot of fog? I mean, Santa Barbara is pretty close to the coast. Knights against tanks is an age-old meme.
Yes, definitely. I thought it was spearmen against tanks, actually.
Do y'all think we're gonna have a colony on Mars anytime soon?
We have 2 minutes, right? Well, I am working on the Mars colony.
Oh, I mean in real life. It just made me think of it because I saw that we were working on a Mars colony, and I was just wondering, like, if chat thinks that we'll actually make it. Like, I think it could go either way. I think we could just never make it to Mars in our lifetimes or whatever, or we could, like, actually do it.
I don't think it's gonna be soon. There are a lot of problems with trying to build a Mars colony.
Yeah. Mostly problems with getting people to do it, I think, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of people that are like, I'd totally do it. Yeah. But I think faced with, like, never making it home again.
I think it's also... Part of it is exactly the never making it home again, which is really bad psychologically, of course.
Mm-hmm. They've tested out, like, you know, habitats where they, like, lock people in there.
But it's also, like, the... just the logistics of getting stuff there.
Yeah, of course.
And, like, it's like you don't have like local supplies, so you need to ship in all of the food and stuff. So it's like
it's expensive to maintain for sure. Doing a little casual bombing.
Yeah, just a bit. Oh come on! One of them actually survived that.
Just 3 bombers.
I mean. I guess to be fair, those were strategic bombers, so they weren't exactly, you know, pinpoint accurate.
Yeah, they're just carpet bombing. I doubt it. Not with current chemical rockets. Chemical rockets? What do you mean by chemical rockets? Are there... I mean, chemicals to me sounds like, you know, hydrogen's
Yes.
a chemical.
A chemical rocket means you have a
elements.
chemical reaction that usually creates an expanding gas that then goes out the
Yeah.
back. But there are
Combustion reaction is a
other
chemical reaction.
there are other types of rockets like
Breezy, first time chatter, welcome in. We'll have a moon colony. I think having a moon colony would be much more
they're actually already working on that.
much more realistic since it's a little bit shorter journey.
Yes, but they're actually already working
A
on
lot
that.
of bit shorter journey. And the windows to get to the moon are pretty much...
Well, there is no window to get to the moon. You can go anytime you want.
That's where I was getting. It was basically...
Yeah. But yeah, to answer your question about the chemical rockets, there's other types like electric rockets, for example, that use electromagnetism to accelerate noble gases.
Mm-hmm.
And they're much more efficient, but have much less thrust. So you need to accelerate for like a year to get to good speeds.
Oh, so it's that slow.
Yes, it's mostly used for like satellites. But anyway, we should be wrapping up, obviously.
Yeah, we can.
And you know, let me just skip ahead here. The 20,000, I think, isn't awful, but it's nowhere near what our players have submitted in high scores.
How many turns was that though as well?
It was like about 100, I think.
Yeah, almost 100 probably. 20, 40, 60, 80. So it would say 100 if it was 100. So it's somewhere under 100.
I'm just thinking that should be somewhere on the screen, shouldn't it?
You would think so. Can you hover over it and see? No?
No. But yeah.
If we investigate the damage dealt to champions graph...
And yeah, of course, Dr. Kane is pointing out the nuclear rockets. Hashtag Project Orion, I guess.
Huh. That would be an interesting way to travel.
That was a way that they genuinely considered in like the 80s. Because they're like, oh, we have all these nukes we're sitting on that we never intend to use. What do we do with them? Rockets. But anyway, we should wrap up.
Yeah, if you watch The Martian, you just need to grow potatoes.
Yeah.
Solid state fuel is currently being researched too. Don't we use solid state fuel in certain boosters though? I'm pretty sure.
I think when they say solid state fuel, they mean something different than the solid rocket boosters we have, because the solid rocket boosters is still, you know, the chemical reaction of a gel that's a mix of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Interesting. Well, fun.
We could be talking about, you know, orbital mechanics, rockets, etc. all evening, but it is 8 p.m. here, and I think both Jordan and I want to eventually finish our
I would
workday.
love to go home at some point, yeah. Sounds good, Dark Arrow. Best way could be solar panels? I think you mean
you know,
solar sails?
Yeah, but that's actually, you know, a nice...
Endless space too.
Segue. Hey, we're going from talking about rockets to playing in space.
If you want to keep on seeing and hearing things about space, come with us on this raid. We'd love to help support a member of our community playing our games. Feel free to send me a tweet, or follow us on Twitter. I love it. Endless Space 2 is fun.
See you all next week.
Sounds good. Take care. Bye. See you later. Hashtag ad. Yeah, I don't know. Sergio just went out there with our Twitter links. If you would love to get a hold of us, my DMs are always open. I post moderately interesting things sometimes. So, yeah. But anyways, have fun on the raid, and we will catch you all next week on Tuesday for our next. Oh, wait, hold up. Monday, we're having an impromptu Spanish stream on Monday. And with a creator for Endless Dungeon.
And also, I just realized we may not have a stream on Thursday, right? Because we have that big all-day.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Thing.
Does it end at 6? I assume. Well,
yeah, but it's not here.
It's not here. That's a good point. Okay, well, we're gonna have to talk about that.
We'll follow us on Twitter.
We'll let you know.
Announcing it there, yeah.
Sounds good. Anyways, take care, everybody. Thank you so much. We love you. Best community ever. Have fun on the raid. And we'll catch you next time. Peace out.